It's sexist, man. And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too.
Dream sent me back like 5 pages worth of information about the situation, you know, messages from the person he called and explaining the situation. All of those messages were about a different girl.
Tommy essentially belittles what I do, saying that what he does with his podcast and book are somehow more valuable or important than the videos that I make, which I think is just a little sad.
You are like a proper movie villain.
Oh boy, he's doing another Dream video, but this one isn't an hour and a half. What else can he add to it? Well, believe me when I say I wanted to put the whole Dream, TommyInnit, Miskiff, XQC situation to bed forever and not talk about it again. I was gonna do that because Tommy put his video out talking about Dream. That was it. And then at 4 in the morning, Dream ended up putting out another video. Now, if you didn't watch the previous video for context, I don't blame you. It's basically the equivalent of a 90-minute feature-length film. But basically, all you need to know is TommyInnit said a mean thing about Miskiff. XQC then said Tommy is cringe. Then Jack Manifold defends Tommy from Miskiff. Tommy then defends himself from XQC. And then Dream got involved and dropped that tweet with the R slur. Tommy then snarled stream again, talking about Trump. And then one of Tommy's friends, Tubbo, does a stream. And Dream starts a stream at the same time, breaking down Tubbo's stream and also part of Jack Manifold's stream. Tommy then drops his video, responding to Dream directly. And on the side, Jack Manifold and Miskiff squash their beef. Again, like, I got so much flack for making that video an hour and a half. Did you process that? Look, little fidget toy. Little fidget toy in my hand. Look, ooh, are you processing the information? Ooh. I do not blame anyone for not caring or not being able to process that because it was basically Lord of the Rings, the Battle of the Five Armies. And that's why the video had to be an hour and a half because I had to break down basically everything. But now, thankfully, we can take it a little bit easier because all that's happened recently is Dream dropping a main channel video of all things just on TommyInnit, much like Tommy did to Dream. Now, this is big for Dream because whenever he gets into drama, he tends to actually respond on a live stream. And I've said in the past, that is not a good idea, surprisingly. You should always do a video because you'll be able to formulate your opinions. Off the cuff, you could say something that can be misinterpreted or used against you in a very bad way. It is just not worth the risk. I guess some people could argue and say, oh, well, if he's doing it on a stream, he comes across as more genuine. No. Could you imagine if I had to do my response video on a live stream, reading the DMs? I'd probably burst out laughing and get instantly cancelled. So yeah, I think it's totally valid to do a video. Now, Dream has done a video once before in the past where he actually talked about very serious allegations levied against him, but this is basically his second video. I will be honest though, trying to explain this Dream drama to someone that is employed, it is actually like the Pepe Silva bit from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I got a paper trail to prove it. Check this out. Take a look at this. Jesus Christ, that right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? Pepe Sylvia, this name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail, well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia!
Like, you come across as a manic schizo showing all of these, like, pinpoints and boards and theories. And to someone that has a job or they touch grass once every 5 years, it is impossible to convey how moronic this entire drama is. So at the end of the previous video, I did talk about Dream possibly alluding to responding to Tommy. He made a little post and then he quickly deleted it, so it's kind of up in the air if he was going to respond. But like I said, he did end up doing a video basically saying he's sorry to everyone, parentheses, except TommyInnit. Now, I do want to say, thankfully, this video is only 9 minutes long. Thank you! Unironically, thank you so much. I could hug you. I could kiss you. I could... Because, oh my God, I do not ever want to do another hour and a half video talking about Minecraft drama in my life. So in the beginning, Dream immediately apologizes for his use of the R slur in a tweet that he used to snide Tommy. Because again, like I said, this basically ignited the entire situation. These are people that have not liked each other for a very long time, which is very common on YouTube, on Twitch, just kind of like e-celeb culture in general. Everyone has their own little cliques of friends, and there might be like crossovers or people that make similar content. It doesn't mean they like each other. Chances are they usually don't. I obviously went over all of that in the past video, like this deep-rooted beef that has been going on for basically years, but it was that tweet that Dream posted that basically ignited everything and brought it to a head.
I posted a meme on Twitter that used the R word, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, genuinely. I think it's important to acknowledge right off the bat that that's not right. That's not how you should behave. I shouldn't have done it. period.
Now, that was his apology. He apologized for that. There was no way around it. It wasn't even a, I'm sorry you feel that way. He genuinely just says he's sorry. One thing I do have to give Dream credit for as well is the fact that he did just apologize. I was genuinely expecting a cope like what he did on the stream, saying, you know, oh, I've got autism, I've got ADHD, you know, kind of using that as a justification or an excuse. But no, he doesn't try to bring that up. He just says, yeah, I messed up here. I'm sorry. But obviously, that is 25 seconds of a 9-minute video. The other 9 minutes are trying to basically debase Tommy. I do want to say before we get into it, do you care? Do you want me to spend this entire video talking about Minecraft? I mean, I could just put Flappy Birds on the side of the screen and then Subway Surfers, and you probably would have retained just as much information. That being 0. Now, one of Dream's biggest claims against Tommy is he has been spreading disproven lies. And apparently that's been going on for over a year and a half. And he also brings up how tough it was to deal with his previous allegations. He shows a clip from Tubbo's stream mentioning how he wants everyone in the Dream SMP to basically stop throwing around the label PDF file. Basically making fun of Dream in a pretty extreme way for cheap laughs.
Tommy, you and some of your friends have been spreading disproven lies about me for over a year and a half. When I had false allegations made about me, it was one of the hardest times of my life, and you and your friends decided that after I went through the hell of debunking them, that you would continue to spread, joke about, and support these lies. Don't believe me that you've been doing this? Let's just hear your own best friend confirm that this has been happening. I
get why he might be mad about the lies. That group being like, he's a pedophile all the time, which again, I don't like. I think we shouldn't joke about people being pedophiles unless we actually know for sure. Because, dude, the Brighton lot, I want to stop throwing out random strays and calling people pedophiles just for cheap laughs.
Dream then basically mocks this and claims that Tommy is saying that these guys have good hearts, even though they're slandering his name constantly. There's another part as well that Dream goes over, basically saying that Tommy is claiming how Dream would talk to women behind the scenes. And then Dream's excuse is, I have no idea what you're talking about, since Tommy in the video doesn't provide any screenshots or really any evidence whatsoever. Dream then does something that he did on his last stream that I don't really agree with. He basically makes up a bit that isn't real about Tommy because, again, there's no evidence, saying that he needs to stop. In this case, TommyInnit is now a racist.
And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too. Shame on you guys.
I don't even know what this is about. You don't provide any context or evidence to what you're saying. TommyInnit, your racist behavior behind the scenes is unacceptable. You are a racist behind the scenes, and it's unacceptable. Shame on you.
Now, Dream did do this on his last stream, which was a lot less structured, and I had a problem with it there as well. Now, I don't want to sweep for TommyInnit right here and just relentlessly attack Dream, even though that basically is the popular thing to do right now. I do agree that Tommy makes a claim in the video, and he shows no evidence. He basically just says, oh, well, you did this thing, and I'm not going to show anything on screen. But what Dream does to counteract that is he will peddle like a rumor that he's heard. I mean, on his stream, for example, he talked about how there are rumors about him, and there are rumors about every creator, but the rumors against him are treated like they're fact. And I know I'm bringing this up again from the last video, but there was like one point where he basically insinuated that Jack Manifold, another content creator, was basically, you know, not faithful, and then used the word cheater straight after.
And I go, well, Jack, I've heard rumors about you too, right? And I bring up a rumor that for Jack's sake, I guess, and for others' sake, I guess I will be very vague on, but there was a rumor that Jack, not a very faithful man. And that was something that I was like, hey, Jack, I heard this rumor. You know what I haven't done? I haven't gone publicly until now and said it.
I think that's the biggest problem with this entire drama. Like there are no screenshots. There is no proof. It all really just boils down to which content creator do you like more? And I do think as well, that's one of the main reasons why people have just not cared about this drama. Usually when there's YouTube drama, people are very invested. They're like, ooh, this is a creator that I love. I hope they haven't done anything wrong. But with this situation, which is crazy / insane, there's been very few screenshots shown. There's been basically no evidence for 90% of the claims on, you know, many sides. So it really just boils down to, I don't like you. Okay, I don't like you either. I play Minecraft, by the way. Like I said, I agree. Tommy should not have just made a claim without anything to back it up. Like that's really stupid. But at the same time, it's pretty childish of Dream to then just make up something to, you know, apparently make the point that, oh, well, I can make up stuff as well. Lol. Again, it's a response video. I feel like it should be treated, you know, very seriously. Now, one thing that people on Twitter were quick to pick up on is the fact that what Tommy is saying here has been chopped. It's actually the ending to a statement that he was talking about regarding GeorgeNotFound's allegations.
And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too. Shame on you guys.
I don't even know what this is about. You don't provide any context or evidence.
Hearts. However, with your group, I cannot believe how the George stuff from a year ago went down. I cannot believe the response to it online. It's disgusting. It's sexist, man. And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too. Shame on you guys.
Now, I do want to say, even with that context added in, there is still no actual screenshots or proof of, like, you know, a group chat of, like, Dream and the boys just talking a bunch of smack and being very sexist towards women. And I would leave it there, but the problem is we now have to involve Ludwig, Mr. Big Famous YouTube contract man. So Ludwig was on stream talking about the entire Dream Minecraft situation. And Ludwig basically says that Dream outed himself. He did a big Among Us self-report completely on accident. So in context of why Ludwig never actually did a Mogul Mail, if you know, Ludwig's got the Mogul Mail channel where he talks about drama, basically tries to one-take Jake the entire thing. It's basically the equivalent of a critical video, but somehow even less effort because there's no jump cuts whatsoever. Or is it higher effort because there are no jump cuts? I don't know. I'll talk to the law scholars. I'll get back to you on that one. Now, Ludwig did actually recall that Dream called one of his friends I can't say the word. Dutch Vanderlyn from the beloved Red Dead Redemption franchise. Could you please recall what Dream allegedly said to one of Ludwig's friends?
You know, gentlemen, this man here, oh, he married a whore.
Thank you, Dutch, from Red Dead Redemption 2. I really hope in the first game you have a very happy ending and nothing bad happens. So after Ludwig said that to Dream, Dream then came back with like a 5-page response. The problem is, the girl that Dream was talking about was not the girl that Ludwig had apparently heard him call a... Dutch, can you do it again?
Whore.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That word, too. And then Dream basically countered what Ludwig said on stream by saying that Ludwig misremembered the situation.
And I kept this to myself. I've never brought this up publicly. I feel fine bringing it up publicly now because Dream brought it up. Dream, after I said this, sent me back like 5 pages worth of information about the situation, defending himself, you know, messages from the person he called a whore, and explaining the situation, right? All of those messages were about a different girl. I never answered him. I never replied because I was like, brother, that's not even who I was talking about.
So here, Dream basically mentions that he did ask Ludwig to actually make a Mogul Mail to try and clear his name, but then asks Ludwig if this was referring to the other situation, the one with Nicholas Cantu, the funny Gumball voice actor that chewed him out in the car. Around that time, he jokingly called a woman a... You know what to say, Dutch. Say the word.
A whore.
And then claims that he has no recollection of the situation that Ludwig is actually referring to. So near the end, he basically goes on to say again that everyone spreads false information about him and he's never used those terms in a derogatory manner. Additionally, he also mentions that he jokingly has referred to both guys and girls as whores. Wait, no, I said the word. No! No! Dutch! Dutch, no! No, I didn't mean to say Dutch, no! And then he also goes on to say that he will not do it again. Again, this is what I mean about Dream. I don't know if he realizes it, but the way he comes across to people is incredibly condescending. And I genuinely don't even know if that is his intention. It probably isn't, but it's the way like he presents himself. It's almost like he tries to extend an olive branch out to someone to basically, you know, as an act of kindness to not just, you know, absolutely attack them. But then unfortunately it gets twisted and it just turns into something condescending. Going back to the video, Dream also claims that Tommy did this because he exposed Tommy and his friends. And now Tommy is apparently just going around making stuff up about him being Dream and his mates.
You're mad that I criticized your friends in a 3-hour-long live stream with screenshots and receipts of their not so good behavior, so you just make stuff up about my friends?
He also tries to make a claim that Sapnap and GeorgeNotFound wanted basically nothing to do with Tommy. That is while making one of his recent videos, and the interaction here is, to be fair, pretty awkward and cringe.
Do you have anything that you need fixing, my friend?
No, not at the current moment in time.
I'm a therapist. I can help.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's good to see you.
And on top of that as well, he brings up the Tommy versus Logan Paul situation. If you remember, Tommy used to speak to Logan a little bit in DMs, was even on a podcast with him at one point. Basically, again, trying to make the point that Tommy's fake because, you know, he basically flipped on Logan.
Like, you'll be best friends with Logan Paul in private, but then the second it becomes beneficial for people to think that you don't like him.
And other people have actually noted how not many of Dream's friends have actually came out in support of him compared to Tommy, who has had countless support from basically all of his friends. This is in the form of tweets, streams. There's been a lot of ways that people have been voicing their support for Tommy against Dream. Now, I did say this in yesterday's video going over that hour-and-a-half video. Oh my god. But personally, I don't think Tommy is a snake or a backstabber or he'll throw you under the bus when it's beneficial to him. I think he's a ladder climber. Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, that is how most people grow on this platform. You have to network. You have to be someone that is comfortable speaking to other people and basically, you know, getting content with them. It sounds very hollow. It sounds very transactional. I mean, I said this in yesterday's video again, but, you know, if you ask like every Twitch streamer that they make content with, are they actually friends with them? Do they talk regularly behind the scenes? 9 times out of 10, probably not. I've seen countless DMs of Tommy asking other people for help, like for example, Dream, Logan Paul, you know, wanting to pick their brains. I already said this as well, but he did the same thing with me when he was first on the scene years and years ago. This is going back to like 2019, 2020. And he got me in a call and basically wanted to pick my brains. And he did that with a lot of YouTubers before me and a lot of YouTubers after me. He's the ladder climber. But at the same time, like, if anything, you can respect it because he's someone that is basically trying to gain as much knowledge as possible to be one of the best content creators that he can be. Although that being said, not buying one of your books, never going to see you on tour. Unlucky. And in relation to the Logan Paul thing, because I know that's been used against Tommy quite a lot. Again, Logan was in this weird position where he got cancelled and then he was basically not uncancelled, but people just slowly forgot. So he was in this weird range where people could interact with him and it wasn't really career ending. And on top of that as well, Logan was still incredibly relevant and incredibly popular, especially because collaborating so much with KSI. That was before the Prime stuff, by the way. I'm talking more about the boxing. So yeah, again, it made sense for Tommy, who is someone known to try to network and ladder climb as much as he can, to interact with Logan Paul. I mean, honestly, I made like 20 videos on Logan. I'd probably still do some bit with him given the chance, knowing the views it'd bring in. So the next part that Dream wants to go over is Tommy mentioning how awful Dream was to him behind the scenes. And apparently Dream was holding the fact that he gave TommyInnit this YouTube career over his head, like using it against him. From Dream's perspective, he gave Tommy advice because he saw that he was extremely talented and hardworking and wanted to genuinely support him.
I gave you YouTube advice because I thought that you were extremely talented, hardworking, and you had a big dream to be a YouTuber. And that's why with no expectations, we called for hours a day talking about YouTube, strategies, and ideas.
And then to back that up, he then plays a clip of Tommy on stream saying how much he likes Dream and how much they call with each other.
Most people hearing that I helped you at all are probably hearing this for the first time.
Dream's awesome. He should, like, probably for the past like 8 months, once a week, me and Dream will have like a 2-hour call.
And this is something I talked about in the previous video as well. The problem is now with Dream, he's stuck in a self-fulfilling prophecy. He's accused of something, and then he has to use footage to try to exonerate himself. But then the problem is it fulfills the cycle. So the claim here is that Dream would hold stuff above their head, the fact that he made them famous. Dream doesn't believe that, so he then uses a clip of Tommy saying how much he likes Dream and how much they cool with each other. But then the prophecy is fulfilled because you've just used a clip of Tommy saying how much of a good person you are, almost like you're holding it over his head because of the fact you had to use it to defend yourself. This is hell. This is like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the mountain. Like there is no resolution to this. On top of this as well, Dream shows a bunch of clips and screenshots to prove that he wasn't awful to Tommy, even though we're only basically seeing a small hand-picked fraction of the entirety of their conversations. He also actually refutes Tommy's claim of the Dream SMP happening without him, as Dream actually claims that everyone had their own success in that era.
I think that the Dream SMP would have not been what it was without any of the creators that were on it. Everyone, including you, made it what it was. And I said that on stream the other day.
Now, there was another Dream SMP member who I actually haven't mentioned so far called Purpled, and he makes the point that people can still actually be critical of one another. Critical, not moist critical, critical as in judging their character. You can still be critical regardless of how much a subscriber gain someone has had. And he's basically saying it was a mega project that everyone gained success from.
Say I had 1 subscriber when I joined the Dream SMP, and then I left the Dream SMP having 50 million. That doesn't excuse the person that did that. That doesn't mean that they're immune to my criticisms. Like, what are you talking about?
He also mentions the age difference between the two, saying that he never treated Tommy like a toddler, but more as like a friend and a colleague.
Tommy keeps bringing up the fact that he was 16 and 17. I mean, I was 20 and 21. I didn't treat you like a kid. I treated you like you were my friend and a colleague.
So then we move on to merch. Now, merch is always a very dicey thing to talk about, mostly because YouTubers that release merch, they pay the lowest bottom dollar to get merch out. The designs suck. The quality of the merch sucks. It's something that YouTubers don't like to talk about, other YouTubers' merch, because it's a very dangerous game. Now, Tommy made a little snide towards Dream, basically saying that he was selling cringe stuff, like, for example, pictures of him as a baby on a USB drive. But Dream goes on to say that that idea for the USB drive was from his mum, and also it was a family-run business. He apparently didn't make as much money this way, but it was more of an honest way.
I'm not just selling USB baby photos or lazily designed merchandise, all right? I'm doing the best with what I have.
Tommy, you say that like it's a slight on me, when my entire merch brand was built by my family, in my hometown. Like, the reason there was ever a USB flash drive sold that had pictures of me on it was because it was my mom's idea.
Also, while he's making these points, he puts in B-roll of Tommy opening up merch specialized to him with, like, you know, Dream's little character, but it's got Tommy's hair.
A dream hoodie, but with me on.
Now, I do want to talk about the Dream USB drive stuff. I think the pictures of him as a baby, it was kind of cringe. It was kind of bizarre. But at the same time, the fact that he says that it was his mom's idea, I can see that. I can genuinely see that. I mean, talking from experience, my family works pretty close with my business. It employs both of my parents. And the thing is, a good parent, loves their child to the ends of the earth, to the point that this love can be like almost a little bit blinding, that you think that your child is like the king of the universe. They can do no wrong. This child needs to be seen by absolutely everyone. And I could so imagine that like a loving parent would say, you know, to their kid that's famous, you should stick pictures of you as a kid on a USB drive. People will love that. I have definitely had similar ideas from my parents before, and I've had to shoot them down, you know, like a t-shirt design or something that, you know, I just know won't sell well. And it sucks. Like, I hate shooting down my parents. I feel like a piece of shit, but I know that that won't actually do well, or people would probably meme on me for it. I do remember everyone was throwing shade at Dream for the USB photos, saying it's weird and it's cringe. Yeah, it is, because obviously we as outsiders don't have as much love for Dream as Dream's mom has for him, and it was her idea. So I can, to be fair, see that as being justified. Now, one way that Dream tries to snide Tommy after, you know, him talking about that, the little USB thumb drive incident, is saying that Tommy had really good merch designs, despite the fact that it was apparently used by child labor and scammed some people, including Tommy and many other creators.
Tommy went with a merch company that actually had some really cool designs, with some very hardworking child laborers to make it possible. Unfortunately, that company also scammed a bunch of his viewers, and multiple of his creator friends got scammed and literally never got paid, and the company went bankrupt.
Now, what Dream is talking about here is something that CoffeeZilla went into great detail over, the Revolt merch scandal. This was a lot of creators, like, for example, Mr. Beast, Anthony Padilla, Valkyrie. There were so many people that were involved in this scam.
This is actually true and was investigated by CoffeeZilla.
Dream then also plugs his merch, which I'm 100% sure was a way to get back at Tommy, because in Tommy's video, he plugged his tour dates and also his book he was selling.
Unfortunately, after the false allegations that Tommy perpetuated, my family merch company did struggle. So if you'd like to support it, dream.shop.
I don't really understand the point that Dream was trying to make going after Tommy here, almost making it out that he is like a lazy creator or he's not faithful because, you know, he's using child labor. That's disgusting. Like you're associated with that? You're terrible. But the thing is, this Revolt scam baited in so many YouTubers. I mean, if Mr. Beast fell for it, of all people, the guy that has like, you know, 20 PR people following him around all the time, then yeah, I mean, it's probably going to fool TommyInnit. Like I said, CoffeeZilla did a much bigger video breaking all of that down. There's some very shady stuff. There were creators that basically made millions off of merch. They were never paid. They were never paid and had to like take them to court over it. I just find it really bizarre to throw that in the video because you're making it out that like TommyInnit is almost like accountable or culpable. I mean, to be honest for a second, I probably do merch a similar way that Dream does. My family basically help package and ship out all of the merch. We do it locally. We don't work with a big distributor. We don't work with any merch companies because I have heard so many horror stories in the past of people just being scammed by merch companies. What do? Get some shitty Gildan t-shirt they got for like 27 cents and then they print a design on it and they sell it for like $40. Fuck that. And also on top of that as well, it's a nice way to actually get my family involved in the business as opposed to just some faceless entity that's worked with Cope Husband and a bunch of other people. Now, keeping on the themes of basically unpaid child labor, Dream then goes on about TommyInnit's projects, his videos.
Tommy essentially belittles what I do, saying that what he does with his podcast and book are somehow more valuable or important than the videos that I make, which I think is just a little sad. I'm happy making videos with my friends. That's what I've always done. and I'm a coder, and I code cool new Minecraft mods and make everything for my channels by myself.
Now, he goes on to say that he fully edits his videos. Meanwhile, Tommy apparently has an editor sweatshop, basically alleging that they were all paid well below minimum wage and even got fans to edit the videos for him for basically nothing.
Pretty quick, because at one point he had a literal editor sweatshop where his editors made less than minimum wage and were also getting fans to edit the videos for free for them.
Now, there are a lot of horror stories of editors working with YouTubers. Some of them are incredibly underpaid, and YouTube editors are basically the backbone of most people's channels, unless you're a complete psychopath, like, for example, Corey Kenshin or Russian Badger. Those are people who edit the videos themselves. Again, you are complete psychopaths. I don't know how you do it. Like, I've been doing YouTube for like 7-8 years. I've been doing it for a very long time. I could still not edit the videos myself. It genuinely, it is just so time consuming. The output isn't there, and as you've seen, YouTube loves slop output. So I've got editors on my channel. I've got very talented, amazing people that help put these videos together, like the daily commentary garbage that you forget watching after 7 seconds. But there's always been cases of YouTubers massively underpaying editors. You'll hear about it sometimes, but it never really gains enough traction to be talked about. Now, Dream shows a bunch of cropped screenshots to prove his point. The thing is, this point that he made in the video is probably the point that backfired the most, because there were multiple editors that came out basically saying that he misconstrued the message, he's not being honest, and they were being paid fairly. So one editor here, Yahi basically just said that he's so sick and tired of it. Lying white devil, cherry picking evidence and pulling out of his ass. Every time I worked for Tommy, I was paid fairly well for my edits, and never did he withhold pay or ask someone to work for free, ever. Even outsourced subtitlers were paid in the hundreds for their time. This mofo has no idea how specific the quality of de-rushing and editing Tommy's vids required. It needed utmost focus, several passes, and was 100% not something a random fan or stan could assist with, let alone for free. And want to know the worst part? This putrid pushing 30 manipulator is cropping shit out to make Tommy look worse, completely admitted that he didn't line as to reinforce his point. Assumed fans said he would be working for free, even though Tommy always paid his artists, editors, and staff 100%. Fuck Dream. Another editor as well, Archie, who works for Ludwig's The Yard podcast, said, "Therefore not speaking for the other Tommy editors, but want to clarify, as someone that edited for him for a while, he paid me well and treated me with only kindness and respect. I don't give a fuck about the rest of the drama though. Go watch The Yard. They're the ones putting me in the mines." There was another editor, Larry, as well, saying, "I like the part of Dream's response where he assorted messages from different people to make it look worse, and also removed the part where I immediately said we didn't do that, and then for some reason stated that we'd go to them and do it for free, even though that was never implied." Also, I should mention, Connie never edited a full video for Tommy. Why he implied that, I don't know. They weren't even talking about him there. I'm losing my mind. And then Lettuce Sandwich, another editor, chimed in and said, "Just want to come out here and bat for Tommy. As someone who has edited for him for a couple of years, he was absolutely awesome to work for. Calling his editors sweatshop workers is preposterous." Again, going after someone's editors is always very, very dangerous, because usually they are the backbone of someone's channel. You know, again, like with this channel, I used to do everything. And for most YouTubers, you can't do that for years and years consistently. So I don't see a problem with getting editors, but obviously they need to make sure that they're being paid fairly. Whoever's editing this part of the video, by the way, do not use this in your twit longer against me that I underpaid you. Don't do that. Now, this other editor I talked about earlier, Connie's, actually goes on to disprove Dream's other claim that Tommy's friends, like Jack, also underpay their editors. So here Connie's talking about how basically her messages were used from over 4 years ago, and herself even saying that she never edited a full video, and then followed up by saying, "Also, yes, Jack paid me £50 because I was just starting out and had no idea about rates. I'm the one who suggested it first. Jack was so lovely and easy to work with, and it's not his fault at all. This was literally one of the first YouTube videos he had hired an editor for." There was another editor as well, Davis, saying, "1. I like how Dream is using one of my messages as proof that Tommy isn't paying editors, when in reality, I wasn't even talking about Tommy at all. I was talking about how I'd get help from Corp's community to timestamp good parts in an old Among Us VODs for a video." Again, you can tell how old that is because they're talking about putting an Among Us video together. I genuinely don't know anyone that plays Among Us in current year. Probably the Sidemen, when they realize that they're too lazy or hungover to actually record another outside video. Now, like I said, this is one of the statements that Dream made that everyone disagreed with, and he then ended up doing a Reddit post to try to clarify that. So again, it's the cycle of Reddit, live stream, YouTube video. and then back to Reddit, and then there'll probably be a live stream or another video. So in this Reddit post, he's basically retracting the claims that he made about Tommy having an editor sweatshop. And some of those screenshots were more about Tommy's friends versus Tommy himself. So this basically debases the argument he's trying to make that Tommy's editors were underpaid, because the majority of them came out and said, we were treated really well and we were paid more than fair. He also continues to allege that some of these editors have actually asked Stans to finish up the edits due to time constraints. Now, he does say that, but again, there's no evidence to back that up whatsoever. There's no screenshots, there's no proof. And he doubles down on this by saying that he still edits his own videos himself and puts in effort in his own content.
I edit my own videos.
To which Twitter really didn't like by bringing up an example of Dream actually using fans to help him promote his tour in the past. So back to the video, we need to talk about the mum harassment section.
You harassed my mum. Proper movie villain.
So here, Dream basically claims that he only had contact with Tommy's mum through a very lengthy message on Twitter.
This one message is the only contact that I have ever had with Tommy's mom.
Now, for context, this is Tommy's mom basically beefing with Dream fans, and the subject, whether or not Tommy made fun of Dream's stutter.
The context to this is that Tommy's mom was arguing with Dream fans on Twitter about Tommy making fun of my stutter in a video. Some of my fans were upset.
I do like the idea, though, of a YouTuber being able to get their mom involved. Like, don't talk bad about me on the internet, bro. I don't get my mom to say mean things to you. Now, he does clarify here to Tommy's mom that he disagrees with his fans on whether or not Tommy was making fun and if he was being ableist or not.
Letting her know that I didn't agree with my fans that Tommy's portrayal of my stutter was ableist.
But didn't like the rest of the video because it was creating more drama for everyone.
But also letting her know that I didn't like the rest of the video because it was causing additional harassment for me that I was already getting because this was at the peak of the allegations.
And here he also claims that Tommy apparently didn't add the screenshot to his video because it would make him look ridiculous.
Of course, didn't show any evidence for any of this stuff because it makes it look ridiculous if he did. Like, he literally says that I'm a cartoon villain for this DM.
You are like a proper movie villain.
And later on, Dream also clarifies that he had no clue that the divorce was actually going on in his perspective.
Bringing up her divorce that I didn't even know about and have nothing to do with.
Now, unless this gets disproven, and if it does, fair enough, I'll put my hands up. But I do genuinely believe that Dream had no idea that that divorce was going on. Because usually, if something is happening in the background with people, it works its way around the entire scene. It'll be shared on Twitter, it'll be talked about in friend groups, then it'll get leaked, and eventually everyone knows. I never knew that Tommy was going through that situation until a couple of videos ago. He actually publicly talked about it on his channel, and he said how hard it was to do a tour where a big part of it was talking about his family when his mom and dad were going through a divorce.
My parents just got divorced after 30 years of being happily married, but I wrote this little tune to try and get them back together. Stay together, or I'll hang myself.
So I believe Dream that he did not know about that. Does that exonerate him and take away all the other points? No, definitely not. So at the end of the video, Dream has a very peculiar offer to Tommy, basically offering to take each other's videos down on each other.
You can go ahead and take down every video of yours that I'm in, and I'll take down every video of mine that you're in.
Not just the videos that they've made on each other, but like every single video where they've basically collaborated with each other. And Dream also points to other videos where Tommy did content with Dream's sister and Dream's mom.
You talk about how terrible of a person I am while leaving up videos with my sister and mom, and of course dozens with me.
This is because, as he says, you wouldn't want to show support to a no good person.
Because if you have a backbone, you wouldn't want to show support to such a no good person.
It's also interesting seeing him say that Tommy made a whole video about Dream on his channel, but then he proceeds to do the exact same thing. But at the end of the video, he's basically claiming that Tommy is trying to bring Dream down in an attempt to lift himself up. So what is the consensus of this drama? Number one, don't have any friends. Number two, never play Minecraft. You're probably better off playing Fortnite. I will be honest, this drama for me has got really fatiguing. I just have lost kind of all interest in it. I've tried to cover it as best I can, but after that hour-and-a-half video, and apparently now at the time of recording, TommyInnit's friend, is actually planning to do a stream with Dream to talk things over and also get a lot of views on his channel. But like anything in the world, which is, you know, not a brave statement to say, this probably could have been solved privately, but instead everyone's dirty laundry has now been aired out on the internet. On all sides, there's been cherry picking of points. There's also been an incredible lack of evidence to certain claims, like screenshots that just aren't being shown after a claim is being made. I mean, come on, man. Like, if you were doing that in like 2016, 2015, fair enough. But like, we're in current year. Any claim you make, you have to seriously back it up, because there's like 20 allegations a week. People are just gonna keep scrolling and they won't care. It's really difficult to tell who is telling the truth truth and who is just saying things to do as much damage to the other person. But again, it boils down to who do you like the most? And at the minute, Dream is not on the winning side. He does not have as much support as the other people participating and being involved, directly or indirectly, in this drama. Honestly, after all of this boils down, I don't think anything is going to change. People are going to still have the same amount of respect and disdain for certain creators by the end of it. Like I said, I know that Tubbo is actually doing a stream with Dream if that goes through. If something comes of it, I'll cover it, but if not, I'll probably just throw it into an ASAT or something, because I think I'm really done with this now. I feel that this is like a Cold War drama. There's not going to be any serious nukes or bombshells. It's just going to slowly fade away, and you're going to have people that didn't like each other behind the scenes, but now publicly, the entire world knows that these people hate each other. Like, you shouldn't have done Minecraft videos, man. Play like Left 4 Dead or something instead. That would have been way better.